So Nick, I think Nick, if we have him ready, let's bring him on in. What's going on, my man?
What's up? What's up? How are you?
Oh, we're doing great. I'm excited. If you haven't met, I'm Michael. I'm from Cage Sides, obviously. And Andy, our commentator and ring announcer extraordinaire. If you haven't been to one of our, have you been to a Cage Side show? I guess I should ask right out the
I
gate.
actually have been to a few of them. I've cornered some fighters a long, long time ago. Rob Brown and a couple other fighters out of Team Santos in Rhode Island. So I've
Yep.
been there to support a couple of Rhode Island fighters a few years back.
Nice. Tiffany,
Tiffany
Tiffany
McCoy.
Tiffany as well.
McCoy. Yeah,
Yep.
Tiffany, Rob Brown, Cage Titans
Yeah, he was
heavyweight.
heavyweight champ.
Yep.
Won that title against Jeff Slavilian. Yeah, so you've been to a few through and through over the years. So
Yes,
and
indeed.
and
I've
you
been waiting to. I've been waiting to get in there for a long time, man.
yeah, and
Nice.
you've amassed you got like 7 amateur fights already on the record, and now do you feel like you're prepared to just crush it while entering that atmosphere, interjecting yourself right into a title fight?
Been ready.
Yeah, you've been ready. You know, tell me what it's like. Obviously, you mentioned you were at Santos. Obviously you've transitioned over at FAA in Connecticut. What's that transition been like? And how has it been training with someone like Nick Newell?
Yeah, it's been great. I've been here now since 2018, so it's been quite a while. I got my start at Santos. I started training there when I was about 17 years old, and I was there up until I was around 22, about to turn 23. That was when I moved back to Connecticut, which is where I'm from, and that's when I started training with Nick. And it was a transition of different styles. I was more of a Muay Thai guy then, and now I feel like I'm more of a complete MMA fighter.
Nice. Real quick on that before I jump to the next thing, I had somebody threw a comment in the bottom. The Netflix thing was just a trend going on for New Year's. I would wish I could announce that we are on Netflix, but it was like a TikTok trend that somebody mentioned that it was like now starring on Netflix. It was just a filter. It really was not Netflix. So now we can move on, Cullen. Just like put all those rumors to bed. It was a trend on TikTok that somebody interjected case sides. We're not going to Netflix. But you mentioned transition. You came as a Muay Thai fighter, kind of or stylish, moving on over. What has what do you think the biggest difference in your preparation has now that you're over there at FAA?
Well, the difference now is we really emphasize intensity and we really emphasize the grind. We really just embrace the grind. We pretty much calculate everything and build everything around that. Whether we're striking, we're wrestling, we're doing jujitsu, everything is going to be intense, and we're always ready for a dogfight.
To your opponent, Ozzie Martin. You kind of went between 55 and 70. And I'm not putting words in your mouth that you called out Ozzie Martin. But Nick hit me up and Nick was like, hey, you know how you've been trying to get Cullen? I would love Cullen versus Ozzie. And that Nick was kind of the brainchild to make this fight happen. What is it something that you see in Ozzie that you think you can exploit, number one? And number two, what's something that you think that he really brings to the table that you admire about him as an opponent?
Okay. Yeah, you would be correct. I don't really call out any opponents. Nick usually does the facilitating when it comes to who I'm going to fight or who I may potentially fight. Uh as far as Ozzy's fighting style, I did do my homework on him. Absolutely. I think he's a great aggressive fighter. Very good at keeping his guard tight. Very good at willing through situations. I've seen him in situations where he's been getting hit a few times and he doesn't mind getting gritty to deliver whatever he has to deliver back. And I really do admire that about him. He's not afraid to bite down on that mouthpiece. Now, as far as what I think we can exploit, I can't really tell you that. But I will say I'm gonna find whatever openings I need to find. Can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
you know. Yeah.
Now we're good.
Let me ask you this. This is the first time stepping into Memorial Hall, and this is going to be the first time, many fans of Cage Titans have seen you.
Mhm.
Give me I like to call it your elevator
Elevator.
pitch. You got me for 30 seconds to get to the next floor. Tell the fans why they should be tuning in for your fight on January 27th.
Oh, absolutely. Well, for all Cage Titan fans, I think you should tune in on January 27th, Cullen Johnson versus Ozzy Martin, because I think it's just going to be a showdown. It's going to be electrifying. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be intense. And you never know. You might not be able to blink. It's going to be a show for sure. Because I don't play around. Ozzy doesn't play around. We both go hard. And neither one of us going to show any type of fear in there. Neither one of us going to be retreating. It's going to be all dogs in there.
I love a dog fight, and we all get into this sport for a reason. Who were some of your biggest influences that you looked up to as a fan before you stepped in there? You've been fighting for a couple of years now, but been training for a long time. What got you initially into the sport? What's your why, and how is that going to impact this fight?
As far as influences, one of the people that I watched that really got me into MMA, to be honest, it's kind of funny. When I was in high school, I was just scrolling YouTube and I came across those old Boss Rutan those self-defense tutorials where he's in the bar and he's like bang it, bang it, bang it. And I was like, what? And then I initially just thought it was funny, and then I looked him up and I was like, oh wait, this guy can fight for real. So this stuff might work. And then I started doing a bit of my homework, and then I think the following summer I signed up for MMA. Yeah.
I know the exact video you're talking about, like Boss Rutan's tips to winning the bar fight, the thing at the thing at the thing.
He's banging the guy's head on the bar and everything. Yeah.
Let me ask you another question. Besides MMA, you mentioned that's how it kind of got you into MMA. Did you do any other sports growing up? Athletes sometimes, you playing other sports that help transition, or this was it for you?
I played a lot of basketball growing up, but I wouldn't say I was that good at it. Wasn't very good. I mostly, truth be told, I really was just kind of a scrappy kid. I was always slap boxing in the bathroom at school. I was always getting into it with other kids, and I grew up around a family where a lot of the kids did martial arts. So for me, it was almost inevitable that I was going to take this path because I always just loved fighting. Even before I knew how to fight, I was always fighting people.
Nice. So I got to ask a question from one of our fans. He wants to know if those arms are for real. Nick, bring the bootleg screen. Let's see those arms.
No GMO.
He goes, are those arms for real?
That ain't for real, man.
Gotta change my shirt because I'm gonna go train.
Here goes Nick right here. Yeah, I might want to say hi to him.
I forgot that you're in the office. I was about to change my shirt.
Oh, let's do it. Maybe get some new viewers going.
Hey, let's go. I'll do
Nick,
it.
Tell us something about Cullen.
What are we in store for?
What are we in store for?
I think with him, he hasn't even shown his full game. So everyone thinks of him as a striker, but they don't know how good he can be on the ground and how tricky his submissions can be. One thing about him that people do know and you can watch, you can see, but you don't know what it feels like till you're in there with him, is how quick his reflexes are and how good his reaction time is. So I think that's the thing that really catches you off guard, because there's not a lot of people that fight like him. You can watch and you can think, but I've been in there with a lot of people, and he's different than pretty much anyone I've ever sparred.
Well, can you hear?
Man, I don't know what's going on over here. We're having some technical difficulties.
So good.
But I think I figured it out. So before we came on, I was making the new background.
He's got 18 different windows of Photoshop and burning up all the juice on his computer. It started frying in the middle of it.
But we're back and we're ready to roll. So what I was trying to get to before we
You
cut
already
off.
have a new fan in Rob Pico, who is a big fan of your arms, and we'll be sitting front row with a slew of people.
Shout out to Rob, man.
There you go. There you go. And so my question, my final kind of thing for you. Luckily, we got all your good sound bites before we had our sound issues. But my last thing to you is the floor is kind of yours. Any training partners, teammates, family, friends that you want to thank? coming up into January 27th?
All right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, January 27th, Cullen Godson Johnson. You can find me on Instagram at Cully Got Hands. I train with a lot of great training partners: Nick Newell, Justin Sumter, Quentin Paisley, Stan Radkov, Lester Alvarado, Arslan Achiev. A lot of up and coming fighters. A lot of guys that I forgot. Mike Anadormi. I've been sparring with Cam Brzezinski lately. Shout out to Sam Watford. Shout out to just everybody: Connecticut, Mike Kimball, Jesse James, Kozakowski. Everybody that's pretty much helped me get to this particular moment. This is a major fight for me. I put in a lot of work over the years, and y'all gonna be the first ones to really see what the boy could do.
There you go, man. I'm excited. There's some names that I definitely know: Mike Anadormi, Cam Brzezinski, Sam Watford. You got a bunch of killers over there.
Oh man,
Yes, sir.
Represent
Iron sharpens iron, man.
There you go. And you know what I love?
It's a real New England fight. New Hampshire versus Connecticut. Me
Yeah.
in the middle. I love it.
And that's one thing I gotta be honest with you. One thing that we really look forward to at Cage Titans is that our belts aren't given to the biggest ticket seller in the area, and selling tickets buys you a belt. We really strive for the best of the best in the area to be competing for these belts. So it's an honor to have you come up, and it's an honor to have Ozzy come down, and we're looking forward to January 27th.
It's a pleasure to have me. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, my man. We'll talk to you soon.
Stoked for this.
All right, there you go.
All right, now we're back up and running.
Whew,
Technical
man.
difficulties aside, the Photoshop has been closed.
So